Record show all members are present. We have the top guru to work on our computer. Now he's leaving. Okay. If there is anybody for the from the public that wants to make a comment to the board, they will need to go over to the table over there and read the script and fill out the form to make a public comment. At the end, we will reserve about 30 minutes for public comments, but you will only get 3 minutes to speak on your topic. The board will not respond unless the chair allows it. Okay, moving right along. Can we have someone that wants to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yay.
Aye.
Yay.
Aye. All of those opposed, nay. Depends where I'm sitting sometimes. Okay. New hires. We got any new folks today? No? Okay. Members from the Potawatomi County Prevent Child Abuse Council, Thriving Families Alliance staff discussion and decision to approve and sign proclamation designating the month of April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. I need a motion and a second to approve
I
the
will make a
proclamation.
motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
Shay, Jorgensen, any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I will.
Roll call.
Oh, it is roll call. I'm sorry. Roll call.
Oh.
Chairman Belt,
Do I have the original here? Let's see. Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman, Supervisor Shea,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Okay. So the Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors proclamation Child Abuse Prevention Month, April 2025. Whereas the earlier experiences of a child's impact them throughout their life, both positively and negatively. And whereas every family and child is filled with tremendous promise, and we all have a collective responsibility to prevent child traumatic experiences. And whereas positive childhood experiences such as loving caregivers and safe, stable, nurturing relationships play a vital role in helping children thrive. And whereas families who receive the support they need before a crisis occurs are better equipped to provide safe, healthy, and nurturing environments. And whereas childhood trauma, including abuse and neglect, can have a long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects throughout an individual's lifetime and impact future generations. And whereas strengthening families through access to concrete, economic, social, and community-based supports reduces the likelihood of abuse and neglect and ensures children have the foundation for lifelong well-being. And whereas communities must make every effort to support every child to have a great childhood and ensure families have the support needed to raise their children in safe, nurturing environments. Whereas we acknowledge that we must work together to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And now, therefore, we, Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month and urge all citizens to recognize this month by dedicating ourselves to the task of improving the quality of life for all children and families. Okay.
And Jeanette, or Jason, we're going to change the colors of the lights at the courthouse to blue.
For the whole month.
Sign that. You ladies, Want to get up and we'll get a picture with this proclamation? What happened to our pinwheels this year? Did somebody take them?
We haven't done them, but I can get some out there.
Well, I didn't see any. Told me I see them out there.
You guys are okay?
From what-
Where am I? You want us up here? Okay.
Right there. From that medical clinic, they're on Woodbury, but.
Snag them up.
We've got a box
With some-
of them.
Oh, she's got a key.
I thought I should wait until after dark. Where's it at?
The proclamation.
There's a proclamation, we have.
Well,
Scott, you gonna be right in the middle? Yeah, Scott, you want in the middle here?
Well, I don't
Okay,
care.
you read
I can,
it.
You know, I can sit down.
Good.
Chair like the 1890s, you can be seated in all women's standing.
Yeah. All with our hand on his shoulder, is that what we have to do?
Yeah.
And nobody smile,
There you
because
have
that's,
it. You'll sign
you
that.
can't smile in those pictures.
Pretty good with that truck.
Okay. Thank you for all you do.
Don't block anybody else.
Am I blocking you out?
You got it.
Let me turn the other way. Okay.
Yep, there we go.
How's that? I wore blue even. I wish I would have pinned like they held it.
I know.
Like we got
We really
those
dropped the
shirts.
ball on the pinwheels, didn't we? We should have brought them.
You got that?
You really do.
You know what?
Can I get a copy?
Didn't even think of it until now.
She's
Yeah.
a copy.
Well,
And,
thanks for coming in. You got
Yeah.
anything else to say?
no, I just want to thank everybody for your support. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for your work you do, ladies.
Thank you.
It's important.
Does make a difference.
Yeah. How many counties are we working with now?
We have 9 currently, and, legislation is proposed that we will go to 14.
Okay.
So.
Better job you
Yes.
get, the more counties you get.
Good. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
I really
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thanks. Okay, moving right along. Jason Slack, Director, Buildings and Grounds, discussion and or decision on addition of a pedestrian crosswalk. There's something in our packet.
There's a picture. Yep. Thank you, Jason, for researching this and putting it on the agenda today so we can discuss it. This is for a crosswalk between the Public Health Building and the courthouse. And I know whenever I walk across the street, I'm always thinking, okay, cutting corners, I should be going clear to the corner to cross, but I'm in a hurry. And to put a crosswalk where it makes sense isn't what's in the, well, it is in the packet. The only way that we can engineer it is in the packet.
Well, they got one up on the 100 block. They should have one going back and forth between the courthouse and City Hall. I mean, it just,
And that's what this is mirrored to.
no, I know,
be
I get it, but I mean, they got them up there at Hoover and around the schools and stuff.
Jason, are we gonna lose one parking spot on the street there?
The city will lose 2 stalls.
Oh, okay, and then one
Yeah,
on this
2
side. I
of their
didn't.
meter stalls.
Ouch.
But where it's proposed, I don't think it'll be used.
No.
I think we've gone through, I won't bring it up again. I think it's,
That's where it has to go?
Pretty much, I mean, that's the closest direct route that we could get it put in there, you know, without, what we wanted to do was put it driveway to driveway, but that just, it doesn't make sense from a safety standpoint.
Can we move it west like 5 feet or so?
Well, it
If we
should-
moved it west, we'd have to go to the west of the courthouse driveway, which would be
Right,
quite a bit farther west.
Yeah, but if they just
that's where
moved
they,
it,
that's where they come down. That's where they come down and walk.
There is a controlled intersection in Fifth and a controlled, or on,
stop signs.
Yeah,
Four-way.
and a controlled intersection on. What's it?
Right. There's an immense amount of them that cross over here at, by the alley because they park over there behind, the old, convent. And behind the legal building and then the church parking lot.
You know, we found out that in the front of the building that you can put a crosswalk wherever you want to.
Yeah,
So it doesn't cut the distance down.
sort of this.
Nobody's gonna take it. We found that out.
And we can't move that to the west side of the driveway?
If we did, there is a spot we could put it, but it would be quite a bit farther west. It would be, and I think Andrew's trying to pull it up on the screen.
Is that per code or something, Jason?
No,
I agree with these guys. I think that straight across would be almost
where
perfect.
we would like to have it, I mean, where everybody's gonna cross at is right here. You know, right off the courthouse side.
Right,
I can't put it there because of the driveway. So we had to move it over to here. Or, I mean, if you put it here, it'd have to come across right here.
Yeah. What's so bad about
So,
that?
I mean, that's not out of the cards. I mean, if we wanted.
That doesn't lose, they don't lose their parking spots.
So,
But
would you rather see that?
That's what I'd rather see go, but.
Nobody's gonna use it.
Nobody's gonna
I
use it.
know, it's gonna go,
I don't know about that.
Well,
There will be a
I
few,
cross
but if-
there, I cross there all the time and then walked up to that other parking lot.
so you're jaywalking, Scott.
Hey,
but if you were
I've
pushing,
never seen a ticket written for it in my lifetime.
I'm just, you know, there's it doesn't matter to me. I think we can save some money. It's not gonna work. Nobody's gonna use it. People at the courthouse don't necessarily have any business doesn't necessarily have any business they need to do at the public health building, so it's not really a matter of crossing the street to go to the public health building. There's parking space at the public health building to handle that.
But there's people that go to the public health building that need to go to the courthouse. It's not a one-way deal.
I would Tim would agree with you. I think if you're gonna go to the courthouse, you drive into the courthouse parking lot, and if you're gonna go to the health building, you drive across the street, so your cars are there. That's just me. Now, if you're driving, this is gonna be handicap accessible, is that what I understand?
Yes.
Will be.
Well, if you look at proximity, if you move it to the west, now, it doesn't matter to me what the board decides to do, but if you move it to the west,
What if we need to move
if
it?
you're worried about people coming out of that
we're too close to the driveway.
parking lot,
set,
why would they go clear past the
For our
courthouse,
Conversation with the
across
city.
the street,
Matt
and
and
go
I
into
had
the
to talk
public health?
to them.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Huh.
Do we have an estimate on the cost, Jason?
We got an estimate to do the architectural or the engineering for it. City wants us to submit plans, so the engineering fee was $2,000. And we don't know what the cost is to install it yet.
How much was it?
2,000,
2,000?
Yeah.
From who?
Snyder and Associates.
Okay.
I don't see us as using it there. And when I say us, citizens,
Garfield, we got any liability there, as long as the consumer has, or the citizens have the controlled intersections that are to the west and east already?
Liability for as.
If we encourage them to use that,
Say again,
if we encourage them to use that, are we putting ourselves in a situation, or are we getting in a better situation if
I
we,
think we're in a better situation.
if we put that there?
Yes.
Okay, and then do we put up some, if we're gonna put it up, do we put up some, signs on both sides that say crosswalk or something, visible, high, not just the stripe on the ground?
I would say so, yes.
I asked them if we could do that and they told me no.
Who told you no?
Was it Matt Cox with the city we met
There's
with?
gotta be some, or whatever, what's it called?
I would love to.
I was gonna say
flashing lights
NACO.
with The sign, I think that's-
National standards? There's standards for that stuff.
But there
The only
aren't
thing
any
that-
signage between the courthouse and the EMA building,
Yeah, maybe.
When you put,
You mean
or from the,
City Hall?
right.
Well, I can't, but I mean, there's standards. I'm pretty sure there is.
you put a crosswalk here, you have a couple blind spots of the cars that's parked at the meters. So when I walk back and forth across there, you really have to look around those cars. So putting that stripe there, we have to have some type of warning for cars that come there because it's still pedestrians think I'm in a crosswalk. I have the legal right to walk in a crosswalk, but cars doesn't see that. And so once you have that right of way to walk and a car doesn't stop or slow down, then next thing you know, that blind spot of those cars that been parked at those parking meters, it's potential of an accident occurring on that time.
I'd almost rather see it on the west side of the driveway than the east side. I just don't see that as being used.
I'll make a motion not to move forward with the crosswalk at this time.
I'll second, and I'll never mention it again. I was the one that brought it up. I was the one that thought it was an easy fix. It
Well-
obviously isn't an easy fix, and it's not gonna provide any value for where it's located.
Well, an attorney might tell us different one of these days, so we'll see.
You know, when I first got here, we looked at that. We even looked at with employees parking across on, what's that, the main street over there that parks at the paid parking. Some of them do not go to the crosswalk to cross, they just automatically walk across to the courthouse. So we dealt with that. So if we do that, then we probably need to put another crosswalk somewhere else on a different road because employees, their behaviors people behaviors are, they don't want to take the extra step
We
to the
can't
cross.
control behaviors, but there's a
Right.
fixed crosswalk on Main and there's a fixed one on South Sixth. We could build a bridge.
Okay, we got a motion in a second. Any other discussion? Here none. The motion is to deny. All those in favor?
My motion is not to move forward with the crosswalk at this time.
Okay, to deny the crosswalk. Let's say,
Not proceed with.
okay, not proceed with the crosswalk at this time. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Okay,
Thank you, Jason.
Cody. How we doing, my guy?
Busy morning, how are you doing?
Busy morning?
Yeah, we're already. on
Mondays?
Number 2.
Tuesday.
Only Tuesday. Feels like Monday. Got two today already.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jason.
been fun.
You want to just give us a little highlight? Nothing, real special. We
Yeah,
into the first quarter.
I mean, March is pretty typical other than pretty big tick in autopsies. We had 7 for March.
Wow.
Yeah, a couple suicide, just some suspicious deaths. So yeah, that's gonna increase the average quite a bit. But the main thing that came up in March that's pretty exciting is the IACME, the Association of County Medical Examiners. They introduced a bill to change who can be a county medical examiner. They want to also include any PAs and ARNPs, so nurse practitioners too. And so if that gets passed, that could really increase our pool of who we could hire. And additionally, one of our current investigators is with this, if it gets passed, he would be interested in getting his PA to be a ME. But that's again, I don't know how you guys feel about hiring a PA or a nurse practitioner on it. But like I said, it was introduced and it was just a subcommittee just recommended passage on the 12th of March. So it's on its way. But
Do you know what bill that is?
it is a House File 305.
Now, this position would replace a position like Dr. Ellie.
Exactly.
House File 305.
Doesn't necessarily mean it will save us any money.
I mean, it depends how you look at it. I mean, if you look at a PA practicing medicine versus an MD, the PA, I'm assuming, isn't making as much as an MD, so it could potentially save money.
But also they can become part-time employees for you, right?
I mean, I guess it depends on what's their 9 to 5 looks like, but
Right.
anything's,
Well, they
anything's
were
a possibility.
They were 312s or whatever.
Some of them. The one interested, he is currently working just a typical 9 to 5, Monday through Friday for his day job.
But there's a lot of them that are working.
There's tons. I'm just saying it'd really increase the labor pool.
Right.
But so that's something we're following closely to see what happens, because Dr. Elliott even mentioned that if you were all on board with hiring a PA as an ME, then he would stay on to watch him through his PA school until he's ready, and then hand it over, which keeping it in-house would be pretty amazing.
Didn't we just renew?
We renewed a 2-year. Oh,
So fine, Cody.
well, yeah,
Three.
that's number 3. Yeah, we did just renew his 2-year, but PA school typically is 2 years or even a little longer in some cases. And Dr. Elliott was just saying that if this is something we wanted to move forward with, that he would stay on to make that transition smoother.
Good.
But yeah, so that's exciting news. Other than that, pretty just getting our new hire ready and
Okay,
coming through the motions.
good.
I got some good feedback the other day on the board. No, everything's up to snuff.
Mhm.
Real happy with our team. Just want to let the board know. I did talk to Cody the other day, so.
It seems like community is pretty happy with how everything's being handled now, so we certainly are.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you coming in.
Cody, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
The discussion came up about, time it takes to get to the scene.
Mhm.
Do we track that?
It is tracked in IVES, the system we use to handle all of our cases, our charts essentially. It's not necessarily monitored super heavily unless I get a complaint, just because going through the backlogs of when we were called, when we arrived there, it's going through a few different systems. I know we have had complaints in the past on response time. I give my investigators an hour to get from their homes to the scene, which is pretty reasonable unless it's somewhere in Oakland or Avoca or super far away. But I mean, typically we do stay within that hour. But there are some outliers where we don't. For example, one of my investigators was on call. This was a couple weeks ago. She got called to a scene in the middle of the night. And then while she was getting ready to go to that one, she got called to another one at the other part of town. Then when she was on her way to that one, she got called to another one. So she had 3 at once. And I mean, in those scenarios, there's nothing you can do. You can reach out to everybody at the middle of the night and say, hey, can anybody wake up and take this? But nobody could. Some things like that do happen. Or I had one actually on Saturday where I was on my way to a scene and I had to call my new hire that I'm training with. And so when I arrived on scene, we had to wait for her to come to. And like I said, I feel like they're the outliers. It's not really common for us to be that late to these scenes, but it does happen.
How much work would it be for you to track that from?
I wouldn't be. I mean, I can do it.
Okay. The, if you say the time is an hour, let's say there's a casualty there.
Mhm.
I mean, they can't move forward with anything until you get there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's under our jurisdiction, nobody can move the body or move anything forward until we get there.
If you would have got caught in a couple of those Wednesday nights few weeks ago and had to go on a call. Got two different calls.
Mhm. I mean, like it's unfortunate, but it does happen. When it does happen, we try to reach out to see if anybody can help.
Right.
I mean, if it's during the day, Felicia and I can tackle it, but
Yeah.
I mean, when you only have one person on call at a time and 3 people die at once.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think we want to set up for that program yet.
No.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everything you're doing in your department
Thank you.
and your employees. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know.
I will. And then, yeah, so Tim, when I do my April update, I'll have some numbers for you for the response times.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joey. Okay. Along, David Byer, Chief Information Officer, Information Technology Discussion and Decision on IT Department personnel and staff.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning,
Um,
David.
I'm in here today because I've got an employee who has received another job offer. I've talked to you guys, many of you about him already. I talked to you first last fall about bumping his pay up a little bit, and then I was asked to wait till the budget season, and so I did that, and I included those numbers in my budget. I realize the budget isn't approved yet, but I'm asking here today for that increase for this person. It's, now he has a job offer. So, we are potentially gonna lose him if we don't do anything. So, I'm asking for a two-step increase if possible. I realize, you guys have a lot to think about when it comes to money and what have you, but, that's what I'm asking for.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Um, I think that, it was years ago when we got rid of the, two-step process for employees. I think bringing that back up now is gonna cause us a lot of trouble down the road. And you, in your email, well, let me address your first statement you made, that, he's got another job offer. But what do we say to that deputy or the 911 operator or the inspector in our planning department who we put through years and years of education and to do commercial inspections, home inspections, that, what, if I don't get a raise, I'm gonna take another job. The dilemma that puts the board in, that could happen in every department. That could happen with every employee. I think it is a bad direction to go. And then, in your email, you also mentioned the merit pay, David, as one reason. And we don't have a merit policy. We don't give merit raises, at least not that I'm aware of. Can you guys seen a merit policy raise? I appreciate your email though, and your explanation of the good work that he did, and I respect all of our employees and I respect him too. However, we have a what should be committee that is, we put in place to recognize employees who've done a really good job. And, I don't know why you didn't put in a note for him because he should sure be recognized. However, the employees that did get recognized for their work, and, this is in the merit discussion, we received them from the assessor's office to GIS, to the recorder, to the treasurer. And, if we start down that merit pay line with, we don't even have a policy to dictate what direction we go with it or who we recognize. I just think that this thing maybe could use a little more discussion and maybe take, well, I won't take anything from you, sir, Susan, but, I just think that there may be other ways to possibly take a look at exemplary employees, but merit pay, I'm not for. And giving somebody a raise because they got an offer for another job, I'm not for either. Although, I think every employee in this county does a terrific job, including yours. But I just don't think we can set a direction today that's gonna start a ball rolling down the hill that we can't stop. And I think that's what we would be doing if we did this.
My question was on, the pay ranges and if we reviewed them recently to make sure that we're in line with current market trends. Obviously, an 8.5-year employee has lots of value and we want to retain them with the county. But if we're not keeping our pay scale in line, then we're at risk for losing a lot of talent. I think it's important that we recognize Adam for all of his help with all of those capital projects that you outlined. I wish there was another way for employees to feel valued without it equaling a pay increase. I think we're all challenged with trying to find ways to appreciate our employees. Yeah, I'm just concerned about the precedence that it sets. And when you talk about 2 steps, I mean, you gave us 3 different options.
The reason I asked for 2 is that when I first brought this up last fall, that was what I was seeking at that time. Now we're butting up against the new fiscal year, so I realize the timing is worse when it comes to steps and how that operates. Obviously, I'm up, whatever the board wants to do when it comes to this. I'm just fighting for one of my employees. I don't want to lose him because he's a good dude. You know, he helps a ton and he's been here 8.5 years. So, but obviously it's up to the board what you guys want to do. I'm not going to, obviously, whatever you guys.
I've said it before, I hate your department.
Yeah.
But the cybersecurity is just, it's opened my eyes. The craziness that goes on in this world over the cyber world.
Yeah.
I think you've got a good team down there. And I am concerned about what they're saying, but at the same time, I look for you for direction and my motion stands.
I agree with Brian. You're one of the first department heads I actually got to know, sit down and talk to. For that, I appreciate that very much. And I see how very important your department is. This is somebody that you value. I want to check to you. Opinion on that. And see what we can do.
Well, these headhunters in this profession aren't gonna quit. And we, as Susan stated, we have 8 years invested in them. And not every employee that's gonna come and want this raise that's gonna happen, is gonna cause, any upheaval except for the people that want to cause upheaval. We want to keep this as best we can. IT is the future, whether we like it or not. And we haven't even got into the AI stuff that we need to start getting addressing real soon. So
Well,
I'm gonna, if you want to do a roll call, we'll do a roll call.
you know, how do you make that justification between someone that's performing their job?
Because the department
but-
head is in here telling me I'm gonna make that justification.
But wants more money because he's gonna go somewhere else if he doesn't get it. What do you tell that 911 operator who performs life-saving measures on
I'll
a,
tell her whatever she
on a
wants to
yearly-
tell her.
what are you gonna tell that sheriff deputy that does crisis negotiations and saves a person from killing themselves or hurting the public, or a bomb tech that takes care of this? I mean,
Their boss can
What-
come in and represent them.
what
Just like
merit,
this guy did.
what merit policy are you following on this?
There is no merit policy.
Okay, then I don't know how you could give one on merit.
I certainly can.
I call for a vote.
Yep.
So-
Roll
so-
call.
I just want to clarify what it is to approve pay for the employee. So we're going to which grade, which,
I gave you many options. That's up to the board. I mean, if you wanted to do one step now, then get the automatic in July, that would be, I mean, whatever. I think anything would suffice. I think this employee would like to just know that he's valued.
We don't give two steps in a year. I mean, I think, I really do. If I'm on the losing end of this, I'm on the losing end, but I just want to make sure that the board understands what we're doing here.
David, we need a recommendation on what you want to do.
My recommendation will be 2 steps now.
Okay. The motion,
To go from 34.3
That's my motion.
that's your motion.
to go to
Second concurs.
34.5.
Okay, yes. Roll call.
Chairman Belt,
Aye.
Supervisor Shea,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman,
No. Hey,
Supervisor Jorgensen,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
Nay.
Yay.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. David, thanks. You're up later on, so don't go too far.
Yeah. I understand.
Maria Seek, Administrator, Public Health, discussion and or decision on hiring pay of new part-time employee to start employment at a step 6.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Title 10 Family Planning Grant requires that we have a nurse practitioner on staff to see patients and give them prescriptions. We've currently been without this position, and until we have it filled, we're unable to provide services to the public. We have about 2 years left of our grant requirements, and we had 2 candidates that have applied for the position so far. We've tried to keep it competitive. And the current candidate that I'm bringing before you is Laura. She's a nurse practitioner that has the family planning licensure. So she has a lot of experience, not only in our community, but she has that specific license that we need for the program.
grant funded, right?
It is 100% grant funded, and it's based on funding availability.
And you said you have funding for another 2 years.
We have the funding for this current year. Every year is a new contract with the state.
Grant goes away, what happens?
She does not have a position with us.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, I got just a quick question.
Yeah.
Information. What's the difference between a PA?
You know, I'm not really up on all of the medical practices and the positions on what they can do. You have more information?
Yeah, so a nurse practitioner has to be a nurse first. They have to be graduated from a nursing program, and then they go on to nurse practitioner school, where a physician's assistant can go straight through school, graduate with a physician's assistant, and never actually have that patient experience. Where a nurse, you have to be a nurse first. You have to have patient experience. In the end, they both do the same thing. It's just, what program do you go to get there?
They both can write scripts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, when you see them posted for other jobs, it's usually PA or NP. They'll usually take either one. Mhm.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Thanks, Maria.
Thank you.
You can bring her in here.
Cool.
Okay. Okay, discussion and or decision to approve and authorize chairman to sign farm lease with Dale Reed for the property legally described as parcel of land being a portion of government lot 7 in the south half of the northeast quarter, a portion of the southeast quarter, and a portion of the government lot 6 and the northwest quarter of the southeast quarter, all in section 23, township 75, north, range 44, west of the 5th principal meridian, city of Council Bluffs, Potawatomi County, Iowa.
North 15th, right?
North 15th,
Yeah.
between 15th and 16th, and the railroad tracks.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, update from the board members. Jeff?
Well, let's see, was at the Pace Board meeting, last Tuesday afternoon. Interesting things going on there, but, one thing that they were stressing, that building is old, it's a building. Know that they'll be looking at substantial cost to repairs at some point down the road. They're facing. Also,
What kind of repairs are we talking about, Jeff?
all windows, leaks, roofing, you know, it just, there's a lot.
It's
How
not,
old is it?
not very old.
I mean, since they redone it,
That's what-
7 years,
Been 5 years.
5?
Well, the piece, that was pretty,
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
but they had it all redone.
They opened at Pace in February of 2020.
yeah, well, again, I mean, they're just, I'm just.
Okay, no, I'm just curious,
Anyway, okay, town hall in Oakland, we all were there, interesting. I always enjoy participating in those town halls. I always like to get out in the county and have folks out there in that neck of the woods, come in and talk to us. It was a good discussion, good meeting. I enjoyed it. Thanks, Scott, for putting that together. And also was at the Veteran Services Board meeting
Leader.
yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And they've got new signage going up out in the facility, and look, it looks great. So I appreciate that.
Right.
Went to Underwood, council meeting with WIDA. And, done the Oakland Town Hall meeting. And a couple other little meetings, and then, yesterday, the VA meeting.
Tim? Hey, Susan?
I was a guest of Advanced Southwest Iowa at the annual Council Bluffs Community Schools Foundation lunch. I was also at Wellness Committee and What Should Be Committee. And I want to thank everybody who came to the town hall. I know it was time out of the department head's day to make the drive out, and I was glad to see that many people there.
I was also at the town hall meeting. I think it was, very well attended, and I think, we are getting better at those every time we do those, and maybe, I think we try to maybe move it to, whether it's Carson or whoever has a facility that can accommodate it. Oakland works out really well, but, maybe we need to try, talk to Susan a little bit, use a gym at Tri-Center, or get out there further, you know, have a Boca or something. Walnut, I'm not sure what they have for facility, but,
Building.
try to do one maybe before winter hits real hard and the crops are out or something. See what happens there. So, that's all I have. Now is the time for public comment. We will now discontinue the live broadcast from the advice of our county attorney.